This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Get involved, guys. If your parenting style is to lie to your children to get them to do things that you want them.
Is that a style, or is that just being a parent?
Oh, look, I don't think every parent does it.
Some people don't lie. I've heard about those. Families where the parents have made the commitment to each other as parents that we simply will not lie.
So when a child asks anything, regardless of what it is, and I won't talk about the thing that I'm talking about in my head.
There's a few things throughout the year.
Like, just be very honest about it. Well, I don't agree with...
Neither do I.
I actually don't agree with that. But I don't mind this story. I think you may have done it in your house, Whip. Don't know about you, Fitzy. It comes from the UK and it's about a footballer. And now that I'm playing for the Menai Hawks on Saturday, every story I bring to the show now will be somehow related to football. There's a guy that plays for Carlisle United. He and his wife, lovely Abby, they have two children who are 5 and 3. And he's away a lot, I would imagine, travelling with the team. And so as far as their birthdays go, they have decided very early on in the kids' lifespan that they're not going to celebrate the kids' birthdays on the day that the children were born. They will just pick a date throughout the year that suits them in the calendar and say, it's your birthday on Saturday. And because Daddy's home, no one is... The kids are none the wiser, but it does mean that the family can be together to celebrate and they're not calling Dad on the birthday.
So does it change every year or do they pick it early?
Well, it changes. I'm guessing a football schedule changes when they put out the whatever it is they put out, the schedule.
Yeah, but if they want the kids to play footy, this is the thing. What under are they in? What they don't, what's your actual birthday?
Well, that's exactly right. There is going to be a moment, like with any lie, that it comes undone, and people are going to start asking, what's your star sign?
Yeah,
I mean, you can't go from being a Cancer to a Leo every year and have people think that you're sane.
But a little bit awkward too when you organise a birthday party for your kid one year in February and the next year you do it in September.
Exactly, and you have a pool party one year and the next year you're off to the snow.
I thought his birthday was in February. Oh, we just sit down and make it up each year, depending on what fits into our schedule.
Well, maybe when they're younger, it's harmless, isn't it? And I think the parents say that they haven't come up against too much backlash because they're actually doing it so that the kids can have the family together and they see that to be the desirable outcome for a birthday.
We had a bit of an issue last night, and I'm not going to go into details, but I just wanted to throw a bit of a message out there for parents. We all need to be on board with the consistency of lying, or the world that we live in and the fantasies that can be created at certain times of the year, because some kids go to school and say, well, my mum told me this. And then obviously that can spread and then questions are asked.
Very nervous.
Well,
I am nervous talking about it.
You've finally invited over the biological father of the kids, have you then? Which is great.
His name's Gary.
Yeah, this is the thing. You thought it was better for the family, but eventually the kids are going to find out.
His name's Gary. He was a taxi driver. He was on Naked Attraction.
You've done it for the birthday, though, haven't you?
What? Lied about the birthday?
Have you lied about the birthday or just put the party at another time of year?
Jack's party's still coming. I mean, his birthday was in June, but we're organising that soon.
Yeah.
Because it's turned into a little bit of, we've got to do that soon.
I think some of the lies are funny where you say if you pick your nose, your finger will fall off. Yep. We had an Uncle Maury who had half a finger, and I don't know, his lies changed because sometimes he lost his finger because he picked his nose and he got it right up to the knuckle. And then the other story was that the tiger over the side fence bit it off.
Right.
So
double lie.
Yeah.
But see, there's
like
also...
Pick a lie, Maury.
Stacking lies.
Big one that Mick Fitzgerald did to Holly and I for years was we had a local water slide park. It was called Splashdown. It only had 2 slides, the Screamer and the Orbiter, right? But Dad convinced us that this is Wet and Wild. That you're going to Wet and Wild. Cause
was it Wet and Wild?
No, but
was it Wet and was it Wild?
I think it was.
So he wasn't lying.
Yeah, but see, everyone knew that Wet and Wild was on the Gold Coast, but Dad convinced us that every week you are so lucky as kids that you get to go to Wet and Wild.
Yeah.
Right? So, but then I would go to school and go, we went to Wet and Wild again on the weekend, and kids were going, how do you afford going up to the Gold Coast every weekend?
Yeah, stop lying,
What about
Ryan.
what about when you did lie? My dad would say, "I know you're lying. It's written on your forehead," and I'd run off to the bathroom to see if in the mirror is it written on my forehead. And I do that now with my kids.
It's a DMB.
He wasn't lying. He tattooed it on.
Let's go to Steve in Rydalmere. Steve, are you lying to your children? Does it work?
About certain things, Kate, I would say yes, they do believe it at a certain age. I've got a couple of stories. One was my sister-in-law. She would tell her kids that chocolate soft drink chips would be so bad for you that your teeth would fall out. So her kids would never ever have any, and if they went to parties, they would always decline on the lollies and the soft drinks, thinking these other kids were crazy.
I have a little anxiety attack.
But also, when I used to play football, I would get banged up quite a bit and would tell the kids that it was a shark attack.
Awesome.
Because I didn't like the beach, so then we would never go to the beach.
Steve, you're a stinker.
Just to stay out of the sun, my pasty white skin couldn't handle it.
Oh, Steve.
That is funny.
Shark got me again, guys. You don't want to go there.
Yeah, they'll end up backfiring. What about Margaret in Penrith? Good morning, Margaret. What do you tell the kids?
Good morning. When our children were little, we told them that when they were born, the police came and took their fingerprints. So if they ever did anything wrong, the police would come to our house and tell us.
How good is that?
That is so
I was
good.
telling the
I
team
do love
yesterday,
the police
Margaret.
stories. It's so... I mean,
had
I
a
don't know if it's
situation where
right, but it's funny.
I had one where the police were actually coming, and I knew they were about half an hour away, Margaret. So I said to the kids, "If you don't behave, the police are going to come. They're going to march down this driveway, and they're going to come and get you." And then when they actually arrived, they just stood still, mouths open, didn't move. And I said, "Yep, arrest them.
The police are here.
Go get them, guys. Boys in blue, take them away."
I wouldn't advise it, guys. Jessica in Marsden Park, good morning. Are your lies working?
Well, so far, we'll wait and see in a couple of years.
Okay.
But our lie is that you get tummy aches and you start vomiting if you have too much birthday cake.
Yep. Well, that can happen. Can
It
happen.
actually
Yeah.
can happen,
You know?
yeah.
You sort of want your kids to get crook off lollies at some stage, don't you? Because, I mean, I remember eating the Australian equivalent of Oreos. Do you know what they were called? The Delta Creams. Do you remember Delta Creams?
Yeah. Yep.
I knocked off a whole packet of Delta Creams. Have not been able to touch one since.
Isn't that interesting?
There you go.
Like when I did 14 Mars bars that Christmas day, Fitz.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Little mini ones, or
Yeah,
not?
big
They weren't the
thumpers.
fun size.
Yeah, no, they
no
were
fun.
thumpers.
No fun
That
about
was-
those
It
sizes.
was only a year ago as well, which was quite sad.
Yeah. Good morning, Kim in Box Hill. What lie do you tell your kids?
I used to tell them that the alarm sensors in the corner of rooms was their nan watching them when it was red. If they misbehaved, she was coming to get up.
That is so scary, though. Doesn't it make you so hyper vigilant and kind of a bit?
To know they could be watching.
Yeah. Oh my God, the little red light comes on and Nan's watching.
Oh my God. Quick hide, Jess. Thank you.
Jess in Penrith, what's the lie that you've been telling your kids, Jess?
I was telling my daughter that when she lies, her nose glows red. So for a little while, she would cover her nose. Or she'd be like, "Is my nose going red?" As if she was already...
It's just admitting to the lie
It's
before.
actually very cute. I hope you write those things down.
It's not bad. That is not bad, because then they can't see what colour the nose is going.
See, some young people, though, do, or even adults do, when they lie, they go a bit red. You know those people that get that rash on their
Oh,
neck?
yeah.
Oh, that's
Kate,
hilarious.
I love that jumper you're wearing.
Oh, thank you.
I'm covering my nose.
I like my jumper. Adam in Avalon. Good morning, Adam.
Good morning, Kate and team. How are we?
Well, very well.
I'm a little embarrassed to be telling you this, but or admitting to it even. But when my kids were little, we actually told them that Christmas was a week later. And we told them that reason so we could go and get everything cheap at the Boxing Day sales. And
yes!
And just, get everything cheap and avoid the mad rush.
You can't do that these days because, like with social media and the news and TV, like people know what's going on out there in the world. You can't keep them in the house and pretend.
A countdown to the morning. Like the news is running footage of Santa and the reindeers going through the sky.
Adsy,
Don't show them the TV.
Yeah, exactly. Turn the telly off.
First 5 years of their life, they'd have no idea. After that, you're probably struggling.
Oh, my God,
That's
Adam.
okay, Adam. I'm sure you did lots of other lovely parenting things.
Probably not.
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned.
Oh, yes, you have.
Fitz in Whipper with Kate Ritchie is a Nova podcast. For more great shows like this, download the Nova Player via the App Store or Google Play.
The Nova Player.